Okay, I forgot to add one more thing on the gun thing. The whole Google thing, yeah. So let's say the state says, okay, everybody can carry guns. Wide open. You can do, hide one in your leg, hide one in your pocket. You looking at me? Are you looking at me? Do the whole smear. But Google has a right to say no guns on its premises. And so what? Google has to put up metal detectors, has to search everybody coming out of the building. I mean, come on. This is just such idiotic nonsense. You want to sit there and monitor every playground with a metal detector. You're going to monitor every place of public accommodation. You're going to have metal detectors. I mean, we're all going to die of radioactivity just from the amount of x-rays going on.
Why so? Aren't there functions that governments should perform that require people to contribute to the cost?
Contribute, yeah. If they want to voluntarily contribute, that'd be okay.
National defense, a voluntary checkoff?
You would, but you probably need to spend about 1/3 of what we're spending on the military. That's military-industrial complex. It's not defense spending.
So again, it's not the theory of the IRS or the country. It's the idea of
it's a theory. The theory of the IRS is rather repugnant to me because the assumption is made that the government owns 100% of your income, and I permit you to keep 5%, 10%, or 20%. You're vulnerable. You've sold out because the government can take 80% if they want, which they did at one time. So no, I want the money to be held in the hands of people. See, I wanted a few young people to be energetic and come up with new ideas and go out and start new businesses. For all we know,
so
that's what we want.
Again, in the Paul administration, how would we raise money for national defense, even if it's a small sum?
Well, we could look back and see how we did it before 1913.
And that was?
It was by a uniform tariff, but not protected tariffs. And you could have some type of excise taxes. But the big thing...
So not income taxes?
No income tax,
Gotcha.
because that's an assumption that the government owns your life, just as a military draft and selective service assumes that the government owns people's lives, and they keep it on the books because if things get out of hand, like they might with Iran, they could have a lot of people to call on, men and women now. So I don't want any assumption that government owns our life, because then they can own our liberties and they can own our property. And unfortunately, we're moving in that direction. I want to go in the other direction.
So there you have it. He's not opposed to taxation. He is opposed to income taxation. So he's opposed to the rich paying more taxes. He wants the taxes to be on your toilet paper. Like you said, universal excise tax. So the foreign cheap labor will make our stuff for us. They will tax it. We will pay as consumers more for it. So it's essentially a sales tax. So he wants to finance the federal government on a sales tax and on excise taxes. So that, if they make marijuana legal, Ron Paul's going to, if they're taxing cigarettes at $60, they'll be taxing, marijuana. An ounce of marijuana will cost, $500, $700 tax, who knows, $1,000 tax on something like that. So forget about it. He doesn't believe in freedom. He doesn't believe in, he just believes in rich people. That's what he believes in. He doesn't like the income tax. That's the tax that offends him, because guess what? That tax is progressive. Rich people pay more. And that's what he hates. He wants the rich to get richer, and he couldn't give a fucking damn what happens to the rest of you. All right, so the top 5% will own the goddamn planet. The rest of us can go straight to hell. And that's the middle class too. There ain't going to be no space. There ain't going to be room for you either, There's kings and nobles, and that's about it. Then there's the peasants. There's only two classes in his world, okay? The privileged elite and the rest of us.
Yeah, but think of it this way. What if I came over here and you have a lot of employees, and let's say that I worry about your company and I want to have a social safety net for your employees. Well, it's the environment that provides your prosperity, and I bet people don't worry about a safety net when you work for a good company, because there's more wealth, there's more generosity, more health benefits, and people are better off. So you want the safety net to be provided by strong company.
All right, well, even if you disposed of the government safety net, unions are what created any equity at all in labor, not capitalism, okay? The extortion of the employees. And that extortion includes government employees also. And so that's the ugly balance we'll end up with. And I think in the end, once the corporations have the power, the unions aren't going to survive, because they'll be eradicated. And the standard won't be anymore. There won't be any more companies having to compete with a higher standard. They'll be competing with a lower standard. You know, so it's just a complete fallacy that corporations are going to love us and take good care of us. It's just nonsense, and people really should know better. We already see what they'll do. You know, they'll pay somebody someplace else 10% of what you're getting paid, and they don't give a damn.
Yes, if you really care about people and you really care about a humanitarian approach to government, you have to believe in free markets. It's capitalism that eliminated child labor, eliminated poverty. You do not have famines in true capitalism. You will have poor people. You're going to have people that won't have medical care.
Capitalism ended child labor? Who believes that? I mean, who the fuck believes that? I mean, 10-year-old kids in coal mines, it was capitalism that got rid of that? The sweatshops in New York City, it was capitalism that got rid of that? Get fucking real. I mean, this is frightening nonsense. You know, yes, well, look, I won't even dignify it with an answer. It's just a preposterous statement. Capitalism did that. Free markets. You know what you know this is just a word, free market. All that means is exploit the poor, exploit desperation, exploit overpopulation, exploit it, exploit it, exploit it. People with inherited money, exploit it. Make more money. That's what it's about. It's about fucking monarchy, damn it.
We don't have enough respect for private property is the main thing. In the Industrial Revolution, I was raised in the city of Pittsburgh, and believe me, I know something about pollution. And nobody respected private property rights. Anybody could pollute anybody's air. They polluted the rivers. The government dumped the sewers in the rivers. It was horrible. But that whole city was cleaned up without the EPA. It was cleaned up, you know, by local and private sources. But
so completely nonsensical. What created the pollution in Pittsburgh? I mean, what? Too much EPA did it? I don't think so. Too much government intervention did it? I don't think so. Corporate irresponsibility did it. And it's plain and simple. And this whole idea that people after they're dead, they should go sue a company after they're dead and spend 7 years in court after they're dead, that's the solution? It's not a solution. That's just asking to die. Let's just say giving corporate America a blank check and say, go ahead, fuck us all you want, get rich as you want, and then you can just bail out the company. I mean, why not? You know, create a huge mess, bail out, and then leave the mess for somebody else to clean up.
In my own heart, in my understanding of economics, if you really care about helping the poor people, you need more Googles. You need more companies that are rich and strong and people are well paid and they get their health benefit. That's what we need. We need more freedom. We don't need more handouts and more safety nets, because the safety nets protect only the bureaucrats.
In the context of Google/YouTube recklessly violating people's free speech rights here, not having a phone they answer, they won't accept any more than 250 characters of conversation with a human being. Yeah, that's what you get. That's the yes, wonderful. Let's let that rule the world. Fuck that.
Because of our economy weakening and the marginal worker suffering from both loss of jobs and being underemployed, our manufacturing base is gone, that we have to find scapegoats. So it's illegal immigration of the Chinese. You know, we have to blame them for our poor policies. And I want to concentrate on changing our policies. And you cannot solve that problem without addressing the subject of the welfare state. But if all things were equal, I think I would be very generous in allowing people to come and work and have a much more open policy. But today I can't endorse that policy.
Perhaps, the most frightening comment he made, he would support an open door policy if we got rid of the minimum wage and health care. Okay, so with those things there, though, Social Security tax, all that. No, with that crap here, some guarantees for worker dignity and rights, No, can't have open immigration. But if we get rid of all that crap, then yeah, let's import as many people as we can. You see, that's the idea then. Is that because we won't have to pay them anything at all, we don't have to worry about them, we can just watch them die in the street. And then we can force our own American workers to compete with those desperate people. And so we'll be, we'll be Mexico. We'll be any old third world country where there's the rich and then there's the fucking poor masses. And that's what America will be. And thank you, Ron Paul. Great idea.